Hello, fifth grade. Today we're going to be talking about decimals. So you had a question on your Google Classroom last week that some of you seem to struggle on. So I want to review decimals and rounding. So you might want to get a piece of paper and a pencil, and you might want to do this with me. So my suggestion would be to pause the video and go grab a piece of paper and a pencil so you can do these activities with me and you can have them to reference later. Now, when we are using decimals, the first thing you need to remember are your place values. So, make your lines and let's label our place values. Please remember, if the video is going too quick and you are not able to keep up, please make sure that you pause the video so that you're able to keep up with us. So when we are working with decimals, we have our decimal point. And if you remember, the numbers that go to the left of the decimal, are they bigger or are they smaller? Right, they are bigger values. So these are bigger values because these are considered whole numbers. So if these are the bigger numbers, or the ones that have a bigger value, then this side must be smaller and they must be part of a whole. So let's name our place values. So let's start with our whole numbers. So the number that comes right before the decimal point, what is this called? Good, it's ones place value. All right, so the one that comes before the ones is called the what? The tens place value. Very good. Then what comes before the tens place value? Good, we have the hundreds. I know you're all shouting out the correct answers at home. Now, we have the decimal point. What comes right after the decimal point? What is our first decimal place value? Good, tenths. And I know you all said that TH at the end. What comes after the tenths place value? Hundredths. Very good. So we have hundredths. And then what comes after the hundredths place value? Good, we have thousands. Very nice. So now we have all of our place values listed. If I was you, I would keep this somewhere close so that when we're rounding our decimals, you have a reference to your place values. So now let's practice rounding some decimals. So let's talk about rounding. So remember, rounding is when you're making the number simpler, but you're not really changing the value too much. So our first number that I want to round is going to be 3 26/100ths. And I would like you to round this to the nearest tenths place value. So the first thing you need to think about is what number is in the tenths place value. Very good. I know you all said 2. So we're rounding to the nearest place value. So we are going to make a number line. So when we make our number line, we have our beginning and our end, and then we also have our midpoint. So make sure you always put your midpoint in. So what number would we start at our number line? Good. 3 2 0. Good. So 3 20/100ths. Very nice. So what would we end our number line at? Which decimal? Good. 3 30/100ths. Very nice. So what number goes in the middle of those? Good. 3 25/100ths. Very nice. Now, what you're going to do next is you're going to figure out, where does our original number go on our number line? Our original number, is it going to go before the midpoint or is it going to go after the midpoint? So is this number smaller or larger than 3 and 2500ths? Yes, I agree. It's going to go about right here. So 3 and 2600ths is going to go after 3 and 2500ths. Now, which end point is it closer to? Is it closer to 3 and 2000ths or is it closer to 3 and 3000ths? Yes, it's closer to 3 and 3000ths. Very good. So this would be rounded to 3 and 3000ths. Always make sure that you add all the numbers that go before the place value. Always double check that you haven't missed anything and always go back and check your work. Now you have 5 questions that I would like you to answer about rounding place values. Make sure that you have your chart with you so you can identify the place values if you get stuck. If you have any questions, just message me.